Hello again. Cheers for joining me for another tutorial. This one is going to be an introduction to remeshing, and I mean introduction. This is a very basic model to remesh, but if you follow the Spongebob tutorial, you've already got this model, and it's probably exactly the same as this. If not, link will be in the description. Follow those tutorials. But this topology, let's turn off the subdiv, is not conducive to simple animation. If you were to animate this, if you're not, which is how I built it, then fine, leave it like this. But if you were to animate this, trying to animate this mouth with this topology is going to be a nightmare. So I would want to remesh this significantly if I would like to animate it, or just wanted a tidier mesh, and that is what we're going to do. The first thing we need to do with this is in your edit preferences, if you haven't got this, add-ons, type F2, tick that box, and the use of that will become apparent. I would like to add a plane, but first if you shift right click, let's solo the shape. So I'm just soloing that with that backspace key. I'm going to shift right click, shift A, mesh plane, rotate it on the X by 90, scale it down, and we can't see it, even though it's on the face. And in order, when we're remeshing, this is the easiest way. If you go to your object properties and then down to viewport display and tick in front, doink. And now wherever we are, we're going to see it. Although I believe this is, I have backface culling, yes. So if you don't have this already selected, it makes it very difficult to remesh around the back because all you can see is what you've done at the front. So to counteract that, up here in that drop down, tick backface culling. And now it'll be easier when we go around the back. And what I would like to do, or what I tend to do when I'm starting to remesh anything, is to look at the most complicated areas with most detail. In this instance, it's just the mouth. That's the only detail that's been added really to this cube. But we want to, I want to remesh that first, and then from that we will work around the rest. Now, with your plane selected, go to your modifiers, add deform, shrink wrap, and then tick. Select your target as the cube, the Spongebob. These modes, we'll see what they do. We might have to change them. I'll go through them. And also add yourself a mirror. And select, once again, Mr. Spongebob. And also make sure clipping is on to stop them crossing the center. Right, go to vertex mode and select all these. Sorry, one important step. This is just for additional safety. Up here, you've got your snap, your little magnet icon, and snap to face. Okay, and now let's bring these down, and they will, as I say, because we've got clipping on, they won't cross the zero line. And I would just like to get something that, in fact, if I put my, now leave my subdiv off, we don't need that on. Okay, so that's my center point right there, and I would like to get as many tidy quads as I can get. The thing about the snapping and the shrink wrap is if you take more than one vertex and let's say I extrude it to here, this is weird. Geometry's in there, but the vertex is up here because we extruded with more than one vertex. So what I'd need to do now is put them back. So I would just line them up with G and they'll snap on. So every time you extrude with two vertices, you need to go back to the individual vertexes and manually double check they're in the right spot. All right, so what I want for the mouth is a nice ring so that when we do a loop cut, it goes all the way around the mouth. That is the best, quickest way. I'm just going to turn shadow on because I can't see anything. It's better. Yeah. So I'm aiming to get a loop. That might be too few faces. I'm not sure. We'll have a look. Don't worry about that. So we're just trying to make a quad ring around the mouth. Now I'm going to try and match the amount of faces, but it will inevitably change. So I'm selecting those two. So that's supposed to match up with that. And select these two, do the same again. And as I say, I'm trying to match the amount of faces, but as you'll find, that's subject to not quite work out. You'll see what I mean. All right. I think, I think I've lost my face. No. All right. Okay. Don't worry, it looks all a bit weird. Let me move that. And let's move that. And let's try and get some kind of order here. All right. And now if I control R, you see the loop goes all the way around, which for a mouth in this shape, that's really useful. When you're, condensing and stretching faces, then it's much better that they're set up like this. And from this shape, we're going to work the rest of the model. The shadow's just doing that, that's fine. Right, so now let's go into the mouth. So I'm going to select these two. Is it better if I'm in? No, it's God no. Let's leave it in this, but maybe turn the shadow down. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay. All right, and now this is where the F2 add-on comes in. When you've got 1, 2, 3 vertices, you just need a fourth there, and then you've got a face. So if you select the middle one, press F, and it will drop you a face. And this point is going to snap to wherever you're pointing it. So now I'm going to do these two. And again, just make sure they are snapped. And then we can go back to pressing F and F again. Right, and as I say, remeshing it's like a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle, but you don't start with any pieces. You got to make them all yourself and figure it out. So it can be rewarding when you finally close the gap, and it's a nice quad. Okay, so right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think I need one more face right in the corner up there, and I've got 4. That doesn't seem to have snapped, nor does that. And there's my 4. There we go. It's unlikely to remain that easy. All right, so I've got a loop on the inside and loops on the outside. And what I'm going to do now is I am just going to put just make these a little bit thinner, because I'm going to make another loop outside of this just by scaling it. And I'll show you what I mean. So if you double click the outer loop and we press ES, we're just going to scale it up, and we're going to have to manually place those points to make sure they are snapped. I could probably go up like that. That needs to come down, maybe that needs to go up like that. That can come down like that. That one there, that one there. All right. So we just need to fill the back of the mouth. So let's take them. And again, just double check that they have, in fact, I'm going to put them nice and straight in the middle. And then F and F. And we'll just make sure these are filled first. So I'm just selecting these 4 loops. Vertices. Okay, so now I think, can I just put you chaps together? And here we have a 5. So I think I'm going to make this a triangle, but fret as not. If I then control R, put a loop cut there, it's no longer a triangle. And then we can just fill that. Can I make it look a bit better? Well, it doesn't matter. No, I can. When you press GG and you've got thingy on, what's I call it? Magnet, snap. It does weird things. Okay, but remember to turn it back on. Okay, so there we should still have retained all of our loops. Lovely jubbly. Yes. And now we've got to make the rest of the model from these faces. And thankfully, this is going to be fairly simple and quick, which is why I'm going to speed it up. Because that was the most complicated bit. The next most complicated bit is closing the gap that we're left with at the end once we've gone through all this. So I'm going to do the front, and then the sides and back I'll speed up. But it's, as I say, this is very simple now. So I'm going to select those two, press E, and manually put those bits in the right spot. And again, F. Select that one, F. Hello. I've pressed F twice. I needed to just move that back. F. And then let's bring this one over. Let's just make that. Oh, no, don't do that, because that upsets me. That's fine, leave it like that. And just put Control R. 3 loop cuts there, and I would like them straight. So SZ0. And this one, SZ0. Oh, hello. That's X0. Enter. And SX0. It's not SX, SZ0. I'm just going to slightly rotate that. Yeah, totally. All right. And now I'm going to go up to the roof. And again, just thingy those, double check those. This is the point I'm going to speed up. I'm just going to be using F or selecting 2 vertices and extruding them to do this. So I'm going to get the top done, and the side and the back and the bottom, and then we'll fix this. All right. So I'm going to speed it up right now. Right, I'm going to figure out, I don't know what's happened here. If that's happened on yours, wait there, what did happen here? Oh, it's because I've moved them. Or is it? I've done something wrong here. Right, I'm just going to merge these at center. I have absolutely no idea when I messed those up. So I'm going to move this whole line. Something wrong here. Sorry, but this probably didn't happen on you. Oh, that's why. Okay, I'm just going to fix this just with F. 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 That's better. Okay. Right. So I've just stopped here because we've got this gap. Okay, so I think the way to solve this is I'm going to go from here. I'm going to go out to the edge. Oh, all right. And make sure they're stuck. And then I'm going to extrude those two over to there and see how they're going to match up. Probably not very well. We'll see. And then if I press F on that one, and I put that in place, and then F on that one, and put that in place. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. All right, and then let's just continue this. Oh, hello. Now at the bottom here, we're probably going to have to do a strange thing for this lower corner. Rather than pressing F, because now we're really stretching the faces, I'd rather not do that. I'm going to select these two, extrude a face, and do that, and then I'm going to join that in the corner. All right. Okay. Right, and now it's just a case of pressing F again and doing that for the side. I'll speed that up, and then we'll figure out how to join it all up. All right, so now we've got to line these faces up. They probably won't, but let's see what happens if we just start filling these gaps. Oop, hello. These gaps here. I can already see we've got a problem. Let's start at the bottom and come and meet in the middle. Oh, hello. I'd rather not add more loops. Oh, hello. I'm gonna, because actually, yeah, these aren't connected to anything. I'm just gonna turn off snapping a second. I'm gonna put another loop there. And let's just fill those, fill them. One more loop there. Hush. Alright, and again, these aren't really appearing because I obviously haven't snapped them properly. So I just need to select those vertices so I can see everything. As I say, the shrink wrap is going to guarantee it's wrapped to the geometry, but I need to see all these vertices so I know what's going on. Oh, hello. Something's wrong. Why aren't you? Oh, no, that's why. Oh dear. X vertices. I did something wrong there. Right. Something is really gone hideously wrong here. All these random vertices. Sorry, I'm hoping that's not a problem for you. But if it is, just do that. Just delete, find those erroneous vertices. Stop that, pick the right vertices. Okay, there we go. Yeah, if you double click on a gap and a hole, and it should be 4 sides, and it's not, it's going all over the place, it means there's something wrong, there's a double vertex or something. Okay, and I think we can just fill that. Oh, F, push. Okay, we'll worry about this when we meet the bottom. So here we have an issue that we've got 1, 2, 3 faces on that side and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. So we need to reduce the 5 so that they can meet with the 3. So I'm going to select this back edge, and well, I've still got snap on. I'm going to bring it to about there. I'm going to select these 3 and I'm going to bring them to about there. And I'm also going to just double check that these vertices have snapped, and these obviously have. Oh, hello. These haven't. Alright. So now I've got to turn 5 into 3. So to do that, I am going to make one more loop. Sorry, one more set of faces. You're being a nightmare. Just double check again that all those have snapped correctly. Okay, that one hasn't gone right. So I think if I take these 2 vertices and then you go to mesh, vertex, no, it is mesh, merge, where's merge gone? There, merge at center, and do that here. It's in my quick menu, but merge at center. And that leaves us with 2 triangles, but 3 faces. So we can literally, I'm going to turn off that GG. I'm going to turn, I just want these to be a bit more lined up. Okay. And then I can select these 4, press F. Select these 4, press F, and select these 4, and press not those because that's not one of them, and press F, which is, that's all right. And we'll fix these triangles in a bit. But now we need, let me just see. I've got snap off again. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 faces, 4 loops. So let's put 3. And again, and I will speed this up, I'm just going to select every one of these vertices so that I can see them. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to do this, and I'm going to speed it up. Right, I'm not going to worry about the top. That's not so important. All right, so we've got our loops. Now we just need to connect them. So I'm going to move you. I think, do I connect these at the center? I think I can just connect these at the center. So I'm going to move that and just queue at center. I'm going to move this loop and join that at center. But again, we need to make sure it's snapped, and that one at center. I'm going to turn off shrink wrap a second so I can see the geometry properly. I don't know why it's doing that weird shading thing. It's not. Anyway, okay. That was actually way easier to fill those final gaps. So now we just want to deal with these triangles at the bottom. I don't like them. I don't like the triangles. And I think to fix this, we can use the knife. The knife. Let's have a look. So K is a shortcut for knife. I think I'm going to go from here to here, through to there, and then up to there. And then I'm going to press enter to make those cuts. And I think if I take that edge, that edge, and that edge, and press X, dissolve edges. No, not those two. X, dissolve edges. And that's it. Yeah, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Diably. So that's all 4 of them. That does. Let me put mirror on the bottom, but I don't know why the shrink wrap is making strange things. Anyway, that's it. So now let's just quickly talk about the shrink wrap. What I'm going to need, what the shrink wrap wants is geometry underneath. So if I was to go back to the original model and turn it subdiv on, and then go back to the one we've just made, and then the shrink wrap, there's not enough geometry under topology, a resolution for the shrink wrap. So if I add a generate subdiv and put it above the shrink wrap, and then put that up to like 3, you can see now it's shrink wrapping better. 4. What's this weird thing going on here? Oh, this is to do with, yeah, this is the shrink wrap jobby. So in your shrink wrap, you've got these wrap method and snap mode, all these types of things. I found that project tends to give me a good result, obviously not like that. And on surface, hopefully ticking that sorts it out. What that shows me, if I've got a gap here. So let me just turn all that off and fill. What's happened here? Hang on, let me put my snap on. That there, and let's join those. Oh, sweet, and then join them. Okay. Random gap I obviously hadn't filled. And then turn all that back on. All right. So without the shrink wrap, it's just that. But with the shrink wrap, it's that. And what I would probably do to really tidy this up is I would likely go through these and just straighten them with SX, not the middle because they're already snapped, SX0. So depending on the axis, in this case it's the X axis, I would go through and just straighten up these lines. I'd do the same for the side, so but I would probably do it, yeah, to there, to here. What? Why have you stopped selecting things? Control is no longer working. Nope, I don't know what's happened there. Yeah, but you don't need to do this. So that's me just going SY0. No, I shouldn't do that. This line should be SY0. SZ0, Nick. Yeah, so I'm just going to go around, probably straighten these lines up. But again, you don't need to see me do all that. But that's it. As I say, the mouth is realistically the only complicated well, not complicated, the bit that where the most confusing geometry is going to be. And again, because it's a mouth, as long as those loop cuts go around it like that, then that's going to be easy to animate. If I'd got eyes and weren't using just spheres, then I would do the same thing. I would go around the mouth, then I would make polygon faces around the eye, and then I would connect them all up that way. But complicated bits I'd do first, then I'd fill in the gaps. That's where the puzzle is. But that's it. That is Mr. Spongebob. Ooh, hang on, shrink wrap. Is there anything else I need to say about the shrink wrap? Obviously, if you move, you can't move this because it's shrink wrapped to that. So you could either apply the subdiv and then apply the shrink wrap. But I would suggest, just leaving the shrink wrap on the top and just using your subdivision and just giving it geometry if need be. All right, I'm rabbiting on. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Or apply your mirror. That's always nice. Gosh, that's much tidier geometry than that, as you can see. All right, sweet, we're done. I've been Nick, you've been you. I look forward to the next one. See you then. Bye.